there, Sandra here. I've got a stencil which I have cut out from plastic, and I have to say that the Juliet cuts this sort of thing very easily, very well, very accurately. It's not difficult to cut at all, and it's just a case of testing your cut settings till you get the right one, and then off you go. Now, for those of you not familiar with using stencils, quite often a stencil can be used for something else entirely different. So whereas this in its whole would be used as a stencil, if you take the interior pattern, that could be used as a vinyl design, whether it be normal PSV or whether it be HTV. And of course, if you're just doing a design which doesn't have lettering in it, you don't have to reverse it. So this is a sample of what that looks like, and I've just done that with some gold and silver ink. This is slightly easier to see. This is on black, and the same ink again, but obviously a lot more vivid on black. Now, the other thing that you can use stencils for is embossing or debossing. I don't know how clearly that actually comes up under the camera, but hopefully you can see that. And if you make a stencil from plastic like this, it will last much better for embossing or debossing on your normal embossing machines than a card version will. Card will condense down and flatten and not be as effective after a few goes. This, no, your embossing machine isn't going to flatten that any further. So if you want to, you can do this and you can dry emboss. But as I said, if you want to cut it from vinyl, what you're going to be doing is weeding this away. Instead of using this to stencil and ink through, this is the piece you are going to weed away, and you'll be left with the solid pieces like this as your design. If you do want to use it as a stencil, but you do not want to use inks and things, you want to use it on ceramics, what have you, you can use stencils like this to do a really nice technique on glass or your ceramics, and that is simply a chemical etching. So you buy a chemical etching paste, they're available in most craft stores, and you use the stencil and you etch through the stencil, you leave it on for so many minutes and then you rinse it off. Now, most people are aware that you can do that on glass, but you can do it on your ceramic mugs and things. What it does is it takes the glossy finish off, so you end up with a very subtle pattern rather than something very startling. It can look very, very pretty, and it really is easy to do. If you're going to use that kind of technique, you do want to make your stencil adhesive. Now, you can buy special sprays for stencils, and you can use those, or you can use a two-way glue and just dab it on and allow it to dry, and that will make an adhesive stencil too. Now, a word on this type of stencil where you've got quite fine designs rather than just solid shapes. In order to clean them, the easiest way of doing this is to put paper on your desk. Just normal kitchen paper will do fine. Put the stencil down, spritz it with water, more paper over the top. Do that a couple of times until it's clean. I say that because if you've got bits like these that stick out, if you try cleaning it in the sink and you're brushing it or scrubbing it, rubbing it, the chances are you're going to fold it back and you're going to wreck your stencil. So on top of kitchen paper, spritz it with water and pad it dry. Far easier, and it's pretty effective. Okay, that's it for today. I'll see you again soon. Bye.